This hour on Kickoff, Paris Saint-Germain shortlist Marcus Rashford as their new target. What should Manchester United do next? Should they entertain offers for the England international? 03717 223344. We'll ask you, with 3 weeks left of the window, what should Manchester United do to save their season? And we'll ask if West Ham are in a better position than them to reach the top six this year. This is Kickoff. Well, the Manchester United fans in the first hour talking about rock bottom, but selling Marcus Rashford would be a big blow for a lot of fans. He's a fan's favourite, and we have to talk about him this hour.
2 minutes to play, but if Rashford puts this in, United are ahead on away goals and will surely have achieved the all but impossible. He alters his trajectory, right foot in, it is in, he's drilled it past Gigi Buffon. Manchester United lead 3-1 away from home.
Is that it? Penalty against Paris Saint-Germain, is that it? That's what you got to show, isn't it? I'm joking.
I'm Man United fan you are.
Listen, I'm pulling your leg a little bit, but those of you that are big fans of the programme will remember that when it reached Marcus Rashford's 5th anniversary at Manchester United, we had a big conversation about his first 5 years. And a lot of that conversation was, at this point in time, he is not delivering. At this point in time, he wouldn't get into one of the best front threes at one of the top clubs in the rest of Europe. Like, we were pretty clear on that, and this is another year on maybe from that conversation. Marcus Rashford hasn't become a starter for Manchester United. His form hasn't really improved. This is a be-all and end-all year for Marcus Rashford, in my opinion, at Manchester United. He has to prove that he's going to be good enough to be part of the Ten Hag revolution. This is a club that needs to go, in a football sense, in one direction, Darren, and that is get better. And if Marcus Rashford can't show that he's going to help this team get better, then he's at the wrong football club. And if there's a big offer on the table, and for me, I love Marcus Rashford, so for me, it would have to be a big offer. But if there is a big offer on the table, then Manchester United should probably listen to it. 70 million is the mark that I put it, so it's a lot of money. And I might be overrating Marcus Rashford, but he means a lot to me as a Manchester United fan.
If you're basing it on form and how he's been over the last few years, 70 million is way too much money for him. But I'm going to look at it from a player's point of view. It's time for a fresh start. It's time for new ideas, in terms of not ideas from a manager, but new ideas, new surroundings, I think, for him. Seems like his style, mate. Seems like you said a fan's favourite. A fan's favourite don't get booed the way he gets booed at times. So I think for him, especially being someone who's from Manchester, grown up in Manchester, plays for his boyhood club, to get booed by a fan but it's being said that you're a fan's favourite, I think it's time to go. For him personally, it's time to go and look at another club, live in another lifestyle, and play with some better players.
That's the voice of Anton Ferdinand. I should have introduced him. Former Sunderland and West Ham defender. I'm Hugh Wizencroft. Darren Lewis of the Mirror newspaper. What's your view?
From my point of view, I don't think it's a question of whether Man United should sell Rashford. It's whether Rashford should stay at a club that is stagnating and is sucking everyone down with them. Mm-hmm. I look at Jadon Sancho as an example, and the outstanding form he showed at Dortmund, the electrifying impact he had, and the way that Man United have sucked all of the creativity out of him. And I look at the impact, for example, that Luke Shaw has in an England shirt, surrounded by better players in a team with a plan. I look at the player that Varane was before he arrived at Manchester United. There are so many players that Man United are sucking down. It is just sheer madness to sit here right now and suggest that a player like Marcus Rashford, 24 years of age, is still so young, is finished and is reached the end of the road. And I bet you any money you will see him, should he take it, go to PSG and become once again the player, the fantastic player we know him to be. And you will say, Why couldn't United get that kind of impact out of him? Just like some United fans did when Lukaku went to Inter Milan and scored goals for fun because they played him in a way that got the best out of him. I cannot sit here and indulge any kind of conversation that Marcus Rashford is finished and you've got to get rid of him. I'm going to tell you right now, if you do that, you're going to regret it.
Okay, but is he good enough right now?
No,
is
the
he
club?
Good enough?
No.
I'm asking you a question about Marcus Rashford.
But I can't answer that question.
So no player is responsible for their bad form. It's only ever the club. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because it's the club. If you buy a player, it's the club's, the coach, the coaching staff, the manager's job to get the best out of that player. And I look at Manchester United, and it's I've seen it described many times last season. There's almost a Frankenstein's monster of different managers. Ideas, visions, transfer, a mishmash of ideologies and whatnot. And I just think that right now it's the reason why the club is in the position it's in and the state it's in. And if you are a player like Marcus Rashford, who still does have that ability, go to a team with a plan like PSG, under a manager like Galtier, who's got a new idea. He knows what he's doing. Man United are a mess.
Listen, does he play at PSG?
Yes, he does.
But with respect,
Icardi's just gone, and Christophe Galtier gave an interview a couple of days ago saying, look, Icardi's on his way, and he wants a new striker. He wants one that can play wide left and through the middle. Our colleague Julian Laurent at ESPN has been reporting that Marcus Rashford is the one and that they've made contact with his entourage. Me personally, embrace a new culture, go to a new league, hear a new voice, be part of a different plan, but don't continue to be sucked down by the vortex that is Manchester United right now.
I hear everything that you're saying about the negativity that Manchester United have put into Rashford's career and other players that you mentioned. I'm with you on that one. The mishmash of ideologies at Manchester United, given the turnover of managers and coaches, even the hierarchy upstairs. I agree with you on that one. Paris Saint-Germain has been a mess in terms of the turnover of managers, turnover of coaches and ideology. Always striving to win the Champions League. Anything less is going to be an absolute failure. Now, granted, since it seems Mbappe signed this contract, they've all seemed to have woken up and smelt the coffee, and they're trying to do something about it by getting out the players that are only there for money and maybe having a new vision. But it doesn't mean it's going to work. And at this point in time, I'm with you if you say Rashford needs a new environment. I'm not with you if you say that new environment should be Paris Saint-Germain, because they have been as messy in terms of how they've run their club as Manchester United have been, in my opinion.
Listen, that's all fair comment, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that in terms of in the past, but I look at the business that Galtier has done so far, and it all looks to be forward thinking. It's younger players. Hugo Ekitike has gone there. Renato Sanchez has gone there. He's bringing in younger players. He wants a more vibrant side with more legs, and you can see exactly what he's trying to do, rather than just amassing a side full of players that are past it. He's going for younger players who can really express themselves in a PSG shirt, and that's the reason why I would like to see Rashford in that team.
I agree with that. Going back to your comments prior, when you were saying about it's the club's fault why Rashford isn't performing the way he should be performing. Agree, but Rashford has to take responsibility too. It's a bit of both. Talking from a player's perspective, it's a bit of both. You have to look at yourself in the mirror. You have to get yourself up for games. You have to go and impose yourself in games. You have to. Where is the club's fault and where the players that he's playing with? When Rashford's at his best is when he's receiving the ball in the final third of the pitch. At the moment at Man United, they're attacking players like Sancho, which is for me the reason why we're not seeing a Sancho that we saw at Dortmund. He's receiving the ball at the halfway line or in his own half. Or they're playing deep, they're playing like fullbacks.
But isn't that the point I'm trying to make to you? That if you look at Sancho in a Dortmund shirt and he's getting the ball where he wants it, he is making passes knowing that he will get the ball back and he'll be able to do what he does best in that final third. I ask you, have you ever played for a manager that did motivate you and a manager that didn't motivate you?
Yeah, I have. But when a manager didn't motivate me, it didn't mean that if I played rubbish because I didn't play well, I didn't look at the manager and go, oh, the manager should have motivated me. I've got to motivate myself.
Well, that's a fair point, but the problem is this. If one player isn't playing well, but the rest are, that's fair enough. But if you look across the entire Manchester United team, there are a number of players brought in at vast expense who are not reaching their potential.
Marcus Rashford has been doing
that
things.
has been the case
I understand
for a
that.
number of years. And for you to pick out Marcus Rashford simply isn't fair.
I'm not picking him out.
Well, you are.
How am I picking him out?
Because I've just said to you, there's a number of players in the entire team, and you're saying, yeah, but Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, but Marcus Rashford at times, in a Manchester United shirt, which I witnessed with my own two eyes, has done things that you wouldn't expect a League One player to do at times.
Listen,
so he has
he
enough
needs a
talent.
new voice. It's very simple.
I get that.
I think
I get that, but
low in
done.
confidence.
He's done things on a football pitch that you would not expect. Listen, all Man United fans will tell you. Marcus Rashford coming in from the left-hand side, having a shot on the angle from 35 yards, as if he's going to score the greatest goal in history. Constantly, every single game, Marcus Rashford trying to dribble past four players.
But that's about management.
No.
Listen, if you
can't blame the manager.
Hang on.
Messi doesn't take on 4 or 5 players every time he gets the ball.
You absolutely can. If you were to put Marcus Rashford in a Tottenham Hotspur shirt, he is under a manager who's got a plan in Conte. He's under a manager who gives him specific direction. And he understands what he has to do. And I look at Manchester United, and so many people are blaming Marcus Rashford for the fact that people come in with different ideas that people are not. And I think, listen, what Anton said right there, and I agree with you, it could well be the case that he's lost confidence because he doesn't know whether he's coming or going. And people forget, he's still a young player, he's 24 years of age. And people are being so very harsh about him. I'm quite struck by it.